You are getting very sleepy. No? Well, of course you're not. My name is Martina and I'm here to explain hypnosis to you. Now, to understand hypnosis, it's very important that you understand how your mind works. There are three aspects to the mind: the unconscious mind, the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind. The unconscious mind is in charge of regulating your breathing, pumping your blood around your body, your heart rate obviously, things that we don't think of, things that are outside of our awareness. Then you have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, which both are interlinked. So the conscious mind is where we spend most of our time. It's where our logic resides, willpower, judgment. It's where we make decisions, a working memory, like I have to put on the washing this evening, or I better remember to set my alarm clock. It's also home to your short-term memory. So if somebody asks you what you did last weekend, you'll pause, you'll search your short-term memory bank, and then you'll tell them. But also your conscious mind, after the age of 6 or 7, decides what programming it allows into the subconscious mind. So now moving on to the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is at work more than you know. It is behind almost every decision that you make, every fear that you have. Your subconscious mind is your programming. So when you're born, you're like a blank canvas, or let's say you're like a computer that has no programs in it yet. And depending on what culture you're from and where you live, what dangers are likely for you, your subconscious will learn different things. We are very adaptable, extremely adaptable. So like a person living in Antarctica will have to learn about the dangers of ice and snow. They will have to know how to work with dogs. Somebody living in a city will have to know how to navigate the concrete jungle, not get hit by cars, be streetwise about being robbed. There's so many different things that people have to become programmed to safely exist in, let's say. But the subconscious is programmable and reprogrammable. Like, what if the guy living in the igloo wants to come and live in the city? How would that go, you know? And usually that kind of programming will be by repetition. So there are 3 ways to program the subconscious mind. One is by repetition, the second is an authority figure, and the third is by hypnosis. So an example of repetition would be when you're learning to drive a car, if you have. So you're there and you're thinking about everything at the one time: steering, braking, clutch, when do I hit the indicators? Your mind is go, go, go. But after a while, after repetition, it is programmed into your subconscious, and you can now have conversations and think about numerous other things and seemingly not be paying attention, but your subconscious has it down. And that's how your subconscious works. So, an authority figure. An authority figure can bypass your conscious judgment, and that is what we do in hypnotherapy. So, if a doctor says to you, you have diabetes, you don't wonder if you have diabetes. You take the suggestion, I have diabetes, I have diabetes. If a guard tells you something, you take it as truth. And what they're doing there is they are bypassing your conscious judgment. And that is what we want to do in hypnotherapy, for your benefit. Because your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, sometimes they have a hard time interrelating with one another. Sometimes your subconscious mind might have an irrational fear programmed from an experience, and often an experience through the eyes of a child may seem magnified But if you could put it into words or look back at it afterwards as an adult, it would only be something small. But your reactions are programmed by the reactions you had when you experienced it at whatever age, 3, 4. So subsequent feelings will match those feelings in as much terror, pain, and it might seem irrational to you, but you can't do anything about it. That's how your subconscious programming works. This is what it has learned. So it would be so easy if your conscious mind, now with its logic, could decipher a situation and say, hey, it's okay, this shouldn't scare me anymore. But unfortunately, that's not how programming works. So in hypnotherapy, what we do is we quieten the critical factor, the judging factor here, and we get you the results that you want. And what that means is, if I tell you, say you're unreasonably afraid of spiders, and I tell you, you don't have to be afraid of spiders, that's not going to change your fear. Just because you know that it's an irrational fear, your logic mind knows it's irrational, it's not going to change it. A big spider crawled in your face when you were a kid in your bed, and nothing is going to take that haunting memory out of your head, and you just itch and squirm at the very, very thoughts of it. So your critical factor, what it does is it hears information and it compares it to what it knows, and it either accepts or rejects the suggestion. So if I say to you, hey, you're not afraid of spiders anymore, just like that, well, you're going to hear that. It's not going to match what you know, and you will reject it, okay? So in hypnosis, what we do is we relax your body first, and then we relax your mind, and we hypnotize you. Now, what is hypnosis? Hypnosis is a trance-like state, a state that people go into every day, voluntarily. We all do it all the time. The only form of hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So be it you looking out a window, daydreaming, and you realise someone's calling you, you were in a trance. If you're reading a book that you're deeply engrossed in, you're in a trance. The same if you're watching a TV program that you're really into, you're in a trance. Anything where your concentration is absorbed like that, you are in a trance state. So hypnosis is simply me guiding you into a trance state. And when you come to see me and you want to fix a problem or some other, it doesn't have to be a problem, maybe you want added confidence, whatever it is, you are coming to me with it in your mind. Well, the ideal candidate who will be successful will come to me with this in their mind, that I like the suggestion, I want it. And this helps your mind, your conscious mind, quieten and let yourself go into a trance. You want to come in with the attitude of, I like it, I want it. You're not in hypnosis to prove you can't be hypnotized. You're not in hypnosis to waste your time or mine. You're coming because there's something that you want to achieve, and this is how you achieve it. Come in with the intention of going along with what's happening, imagining things as you're being asked, and accepting suggestions. So for example, if I asked you to pretend you're holding a lemon in your hand, because this is how hypnosis works, by the way, the imagination is so powerful. Your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It actually doesn't. So if you can be like a little kid just for a moment and just follow my guide, you will find psychosomatic responses begin to happen. So if I asked you to hold a lemon in your hand, and I asked you to picture it and feel the skin. Feel the knobbly ends on both sides. And maybe throw your lemon up into the air and catch it. Throw it up and really feel the weight landing in your hand. Then if I ask you to get a knife and to cut a slice out of your lemon, and I ask you to smell your lemon, then if I ask you to take a bite out of your lemon, nine out of 10 people will actually get that feeling in the back of your tongue. And you don't have a lemon in your hand. There was no lemon. This is a psychosomatic response from you following a direction. What you imagine is real. So we can implant new suggestions into your mind with your say-so. So you must come in with a positive mental attitude of, I like it, I want it. If you were to sit there, as I asked you, to hold this lemon and throw it up in the air and chop it in half, and if you were in your own mind actually thinking, I don't have a fucking lemon in my hand, what is this mad one on about, then you're not going to reap the benefits. You will not see what will happen. You will not get the psychosomatic response, and you'll not get what you want. But hypnosis, there's a science to hypnosis. It works. You just have to give it your all. And basically go with the flow. Thanks.